Hi everybody, welcome to Dave Smalley's Homestead Motorcycles, also known as Dave's Garage, self-certified at MacGyver School of Engineering. Improviser time! Remember your spark plug readings. Okay, today we will be playing with Rust. Let's see, we've been trying to use Evaporust, and it works pretty darn good so far. Let's see what we get today. Alright, so let's get you mounted up. And this morning, this has been just a little over 23 hours, not quite 24 hours. My left hand exhaust pipe, which looked pretty funky. So let's see if we've managed to unfunky it at all. Let's get some more light on the subject. Did that help? How about zooming? That ought to be pretty good. So let's now, one thing I did not do was tape it up tight. I didn't tape the plastic up tight. What I had done, I wrapped it, had all the gook on it, the Evaporust. Thought, oh, it'll be fine. I came out about 2 hours later, and it was already drying up significantly. It hadn't dried up yet, but it was drying. So I re-gooked it up, and then wrapped this, probably Walmart bags, relatively tightly around, but I didn't freak out on it. I just figured, well, let me just cover it and get it, stopping most of the air to get to it. So it's still damp. Good. Okay, so that was probably successful with my tacky use of the bag. I probably didn't have to be as anal as the first time. The bottom is a lot more wet than the top. Now, I don't remember how I laid that on there. I guess it's not really important. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see what we got. Now, we have pulled some rust onto the paper towel, assuming that's a good thing. Alright. Get this little girl off of here. I expected more. I really did. You spoiled me on the last two jobs. I did one with an old dish of ours. The lady gave us something in a dish that we were a little upset how rusty it looked. Yeah. Okay, I'm not real happy with this. That wasn't, yeah, I got rust off it. I expected a little bit more. You know what? Maybe that was moderately successful. Not sure. I'm going to take it off. Yeah, again, so I did get some rust off, but it wasn't quite as impressive before. Now, maybe me being sloppy and not wrapping it tight and making sure nothing got in there and it didn't dry out at all was not wise. So let's take a look a little closer with the video. Now, down there, I'm going to turn this light off. This light seems to get in the way. Yeah, but still. Down there where it was still wet, looks like it cleaned things up a bit better. This is the part that got dry. It was drier. Let's compare it to the other side. Alright, so comparatively this is better. Yeah. What would you say? 30% better? Maybe close to 50% better. Okay, so it is, quote, better, unquote. Not great. Not great. So I'm going to get anal and wrap this one again and see if that makes a difference. So I'm just going to wrap that part again. I'm going to leave this undone. I'm going to do this one again. And this time I'm going to do the extra step of taping it relatively tightly so that almost nothing can get to it. Alright, so I have to admit that looks like some success without a whole lot of work. I mean, really all you do is go through this little process of getting wet, sticking it on. That's really not work. Alright, so you gotta stone. I'm going to put it this way. No, because I really want to be able to get to the end product. Alright, so now this is the easiest way to put it on, and then I'll just deal with getting it off, because who cares? Yeah, I'll get it. And putting this stuff on was a little more irritating than I anticipated. Not the end of the world, just it's real slow to get the whole thing nice and wet. Slow process. So, smart way, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to get it wet, place it here, and then do the wrap around. And then wrap the plastic, and I do have tape and the same plastic I used for yesterday's job. Alright, I wasn't anticipating this, so let's do it careful. I thought I was just going to be putting carb cleaner on this and throwing Scotch-Brite on it, but I'm not super happy, so we do it again. Again, I've done my share of sanding rust, so I'm quite familiar with how difficult rust can be. And this is a lot easier than sanding. Alright, so let's see if this, I think I've learned a trick to get this to disperse quickly without making a mess. Okay, not dripping it on the ground today, because everything I was trying by dipping it in the cap and all that, that was dripping it on the ground, and I don't want to waste this stuff. I mean, you know, it's not that expensive, but hey, it costs money. Alright, so that, oh, see where I dripped it. See, right at the end I got in a hurry, caused it to drip. So let's try to be careful this time. I'm trying to, okay. Yeah, it feels like I've poured a lot on. I feel like it'll go soak it, and then it just runs down a little ways. So it takes a little bit of, and this thing, when it decides to pour, it wants to come rushing out. There's none of that careful stuff involved here. Alright, so we're pretty wet. Got just a little bit more to get wet, so I'm going to cheat, because I find pouring near the edge has screwed me most of the time, so I'll just steal some from the inside, see if that gets it started. Yeah, see, everything, okay, now we're nice and wet all over, no dry spots. Funny, you plan things and then once you get it wet it feels different. Okay, so we'll just make sure we get it all the way up top there, and we'll run this guy all the way down. Alright, so this is what I'm going to put this one in first, and you'll see why in a second here. So it's the one that's on my side I'm putting in first, wrapping it as well as I can. Good thing this motor's not hot, or I would be in pain right now. Okay, here we go. So that's all pretty good. Now when we pull this guy through, come on, come through, baby. Be nice. I don't want to pull through. Do something stupid. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Alright, so that part under there is being imperfect, but that's the part you can't see. Alright, so yeah, I did something. Well, going around the corner, you know, it's always a minor challenge. Okay, so let's pull that tighter. Wrap this all the way around. Let's get it on there pretty good. Alright, so that's, I'm trying to make sure that every square millimeter of this pipe is touching a piece of wet paper towel, and I got a little gap up there. Alright, and let's, yeah, I can see it folded over funny. Can I unfold it? Kinda, yeah. That didn't really work. It unfolded, but it didn't do anything. Okay. Do a better job with the wrap. Plastic wrap. Again, I was trying to avoid this complication to come around the corner stuff. It's not the end of the world, but you know. It's work and I'm lazy. Okay, so that's going to go on there nice and neat. Yeah, that's looking good. Alright, so how are we doing down below? Okay, looking pretty good down below. Oh, this was a Zaxby's. God, this must be years old. Wow, so that's a plastic bag from Tallahassee days. I enjoyed Zaxby's. They're pretty good. Don't think they're down here in South Florida. Okay, so this one, see how I'm getting this one relatively tight. I'm going to work on keeping, 99% of the air out this time. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Okay. Mr. Tape. My buddy, Mr. Tape. I love these things. Even though I don't run it, well, yes I do on boxes. And this is an imperfect pain in the ass. Sometimes it pops right off, and sometimes it doesn't. There we go. You got to be kind of authoritative with Mr. Tape, or he will do what he damn well pleases. Alright, so again, make yourself a handle. That little step has saved me a lot of effort. Alright, so let's start with the top. See how the static electricity is grabbing it? Alright, so let's get right up. Yeah, it doesn't want to do exactly what I want to do, does it? Alright, so I'll force it. Alright, come around. And then see my handle, I did a good job. My little handle is right there, so when it comes time to peeling, that should be a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to put one here. Let's do the same thing. Now we don't need it quite as long. Okay, let's get this thing. Hey! Oops! This is one of the jerk things that it'll do. I may have screwed that up. Oh, yeah, it screwed that one up. Ah, I've rescued that good enough for hand grenades and horseshoes. Okay. Handle. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Yeah, I want to come around this way. Alright, so I'll put that there. Get that squeezing. Again, pull the air out of it. Ah, come on, baby. Pull the air out of it and squeeze her around. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright, so I think that paper towel ended right about there. Yes, it did. I can barely see through there. So I'm going to put one right here. I think it'll be good enough. I don't need a ton. Okay, Senor Tape, let's do a better job. Okay. Oop, I cut, and it jumped. Look at that. Static electricity is a trip, man. Absolute trip. Alright, get our handle. Now we got a shitload, so I'm gonna take advantage of the shitload. See if I can get static electricity to work for me instead of against me. Okay, kind of working. Okay, here we go. So we start here. It folded a little bit. That's imperfect. Alright, that's not a problem. And come on. Okay, that's going to do a pretty nice job. Look at that. Alright, so I got my handle. And I think that's pretty well squeezed. And pretty well wet. Okay, so tomorrow morning that will come off. Tomorrow morning. Now, I don't know if you've been watching these foolishness, but I put this one on last night, so that'll come off tonight. And I put that one on last night, so that'll come off tonight. So we shall see. So, on the rusty pipe, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get the light on. I'll get both the light on and off to see what the pipe used to look like. They both looked about the same. Get a good close look at what it was, because you had a pretty good close look at what it is, what the other side turned to. And see, down here was all just as nasty. Now the paper towel was still pretty wet down here on the other side. And it came out, in my opinion, looking much better than this. We'll go back over there and take another look. Alright, so this is the right side, unmolested. Let's go take a better look at the left side. I'm hoping that by having it properly wet, yeah, look at that. Look at the difference. Imperfect, but quite a bit better. Yeah, you see the difference here. This is noticeably better than the other side, and they were pretty much equal. Okay, so I'm pretty happy. I haven't put my points cover back on yet. Still going to clean off the gasket, and I'm going to put a light coating of silicone sealer. I'll tell you why. Alright. Notice I still have my little piece of paper towel there blocking the spark plug hole. This little indentation is where the spark plug wrench scrapes. Can you see it? This goddamn light gets in the way. Helps and gets in the way. Anyway, it's scraping this thing. I have a real tap on the way. I think it's going to be here Friday. And what I'm going to do, and I got a nice long T-handle, so I should be able to get some leverage. So when I put that tap back in, I'm going to purposely pull it down so it cuts more on the bottom at the beginning and at the top at the end, and attempt to recut the threads with a little bit more of a downward bias, right? And I think I'm only talking 1 or 2 degrees here, a couple of thousandths of an inch. But if I do that successfully, I may be able to clear this landing. See, they knew they were going to have this problem and built this landing in. So, worst case, I'm thinking, I haven't checked the actual thickness of this, but it feels like it's substantial, and there's no pressure in there, there's no oil in there, it's a dust cover. I may file this down a little bit before I get to grinding on my socket, because grinding the socket will make it weaker. Generally not a great thing to do, but so if I'm going to grind or file something, I think I'm going to first, like I said, I'm going to pull down a little bit as I'm tapping it. Hopefully this tap will be bigger than the other tap, cut a little bit more material out, and it's going to be an actual tap, not that funky stretchable tap, which was good for what it did. It started the hole nicely. So pull it down, tap it, put this on there, put the plug in there. If it's hitting this still, then I'm going to take this off and file this down a little bit. If it's still hitting, then I'll grind the spark plug socket. Okay, guys, that's me. We'll take this one off tonight. No, we'll take this one off tomorrow morning. We will take this one, and the brake spring will be tomorrow morning. Yeah. No, these are evening. These two are evening. These two are this evening. Good Lord, I am so farful. Okay, I got Nancy. Hi, Nancy. I got Kip watching, and I got Claude watching. Hi, Claude. Oh, somebody else. Gigi. Hi, guys. Thanks for watching. This evaporust stuff. Oop, and I didn't put the cap back on. this Evapor-Rust stuff, I think, is a decent value. You got rusty stuff. Like I said, we had I should have taken video of it. Didn't. A lady loaned us a dish. We didn't use it for a while. When we got to it, we realized, oh my God, this thing is just rusty. Food dish. Oh, that's terrible. So I did the gook, put the gook on it, and lo and behold, it was almost pristine the next day. So, Scotch Brighted it real good, washed it with detergent real good, put vegetable oil on it, and it's going back in better condition than we got it. Okay, bye guys.